I have a limited amount of Lions t-shirts, and I feel like I need to like stretch these out. I feel like I'm wearing the wrong thing right now. That's right. I'm very self-conscious about what I'm wearing for a podcast. I just need to get out of my head. Yeah, no, this is welcome to the Detroit Pierce figures out his own brain podcast, I guess. Whatever, we're just going to roll with it. We're rolling. All right, welcome back to another Detroit Pierce podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for however you watch. Make sure you subscribe. I think that's what you're supposed to say. I'm not really good at this. Make sure you subscribe, retweet, like, comment, DM me, reply. I always appreciate hearing from everybody. It's been a fun weekend, and I can't wait to get into everything. Let's just start it off. I got my Lions t-shirt on. I'm already using it. I just got it off Fanatics. It was on sale. It looks good. It does the job. And I watched them against the Lions, against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. Blau just scored a touchdown. They lose 19-9 for their Week 3 game. But look, let me tell you something. You don't be disappointed. It's just a preseason game. It's totally fine. My vibe from the game, Goff didn't start. I didn't see Swift. Here are a couple of things that were really obvious. It felt like today was a game that Dan Campbell's trying to figure out who he's going to cut and who's going to stay and who's going to go. Whereas the Steelers are literally trying to figure out who their starting quarterback was. I mean, Najee Harris was playing today. I mean, they had Freiermuth was playing. I mean, they had some really good players playing, so it felt like just a different type of vibe for the teams. So overall, I think the Lions did all right. 19 points against the Steelers. That's okay. Only 9 points, but you don't have a couple of big names. Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm more than okay with that. I feel as though going in, the other thing that really stands out to me about the Lions is that run game, even with a bad quarterback, I don't think Goff is the worst quarterback in the NFL, but I don't think he's the best quarterback in the NFL. I think he's below average. I think with an offensive line and with a running back core that's 3 deep, I think Jefferson is a good, solid third running back. Swift and Williams. I feel like when you have that, and Justin Jackson has moments to being great. I think when you have an offensive line and a running game that's that consistent and can really set up a play action, it makes me feel very good about the future of the Lions. That if you just stick to running the ball and doing what you're good at, I think you can be in a lot of games. And I think with the mentality that the Lions have, I think that they can win a couple of games that they didn't win last year. I'm thinking the Vikings. I'm thinking the Steelers last year. They could have not tied but won. I just think that gaining some confidence, the Ravens, just gaining some confidence, relying on the run game, and relying on the offensive line, I think that's a recipe for success. And I think it's a recipe to take this team from a 3-win team to a 6-win team or a 7-win team. You got to have realistic expectations. I've had people come up to me and be like, oh, during fantasy drafts mostly, be like, oh, you want Swift? Oh, you want Hawkinson? You want St. Brown? Yeah, I think they're good players, but I think a lot of people are asking me, are they going to be a playoff team this year because they're in a down division and they have the 4th easiest schedule in the NFL? No, my expectation isn't the playoffs, but I just want them to take that next step, and I think 6 wins is that next step, and I think it's clear from the 3 preseason games and from Hard Knocks that they are taking that next step. The locker room has a lot more leadership, and I think Dan Campbell is really getting this team into form, and I like it. I like this team, and that's all. That's positive vibes. Positive vibes after losing 19-9. Positive vibes. Do you even think that was possible? Do you think that was possible that I could be positive after a loss? It's just preseason. But I'm really glad that this is a week 0 for me, so I can start getting ready to start tweeting, get my mind ready. You know, waking up at 5 a.m. watching F1 and then turning around and watching the Lions lose on a Sunday. You know, I'm getting back in the flow. I like it. I like it a lot. No Pistons, no Red Wings. Let's go to the Tigers. Since Saturday, the Tigers are 5-2, and they're 5-4 in their last 11 games. They're making a run at it. They're trying to end the season with some pride. They're 50-72, I think. trying to end the season with some pride. They're not going to be 500. They're still going to be one of the more disappointing teams in the MLB. No doubt about it. That's not what I'm saying. But at least they're ending the season with pride. Matt Manning, Erod, looking good. Pitching looking good. I can convince myself that next year they could be a 500 team. I can convince myself in my brain that if you get rid of the hitting coach, Scott Claybaugh, I mean, he didn't do a good job this year. Let's call it like it is. I mean, you're 900 runs behind last place. If you get a new hitting coach, you get some hitters into the team, you figure out some outfielders, I think you can take that next step and be a 500-win team, especially with the pitching staff that we have. That's right. I've convinced myself. You know what? The old me, no, I've turned a new leaf. The old me would have sat around and been like, we got to burn it all down. No, I'm going to try to find some positives around here. That's why I do this podcast. That's why I originally started this podcast, is to be positive, right? And damn it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to find a way in my own brain, and I'm going to unlock it in your brain to where the Tigers are going to be a 500-win team, and that's how they're going to do it. They're going to sign a couple players. Torgelson's going to come back next year, and he's going to be a good, solid first baseman like he's supposed to be. We're going to sign a couple players. Riley Green's going to take that next step and be a good, maybe fringe all-star outfielder. And guess what? We're going to start changing some things, baby. That's what's happening. I'm going to hold on to that. The pitching needs to stay the exact same. If the pitching stays the same and the hitting can just be like fifth worst in the MLB, we're near a 500-win team. Near. I'm positive. I'm staying positive. But yeah, that's the Tigers week. I'm glad that they're starting to try. I'm glad they're trying to end the season on a winning note. It makes me very happy. Just show some pride ending the season. You haven't all season. You've looked and embarrassed us all. At least end this season with some damn pride. All right, let's go to my favorite segment, the one I wake up for every single morning to make sure I can provide the best content I can for you, and it is your European Minute. It starts right now. F1 was in Spa. Max Verstappen starts for P20 and goes all the way to P1. He not only goes to P1, he goes P1 by 30 seconds, it feels like. He destroyed the field. Look, he's just so much better. He's just on another planet. Charles, I didn't understand how Ferrari could screw it up at the end, and they still figure out a way to screw up their strategy. Everybody needs to be fired at Ferrari. Everybody. Literally everybody at Ferrari needs to be fired. It's absolutely embarrassing how their strategy has been this year. Max Verstappen's Latifi just got eliminated today from the World Drivers' Championship. If I have to be sad, you get to be sad. Then going to soccer, Champions League draw happened earlier this week. I'm obviously a Chelsea fan, so I'm obviously going to be hypersensitive to Chelsea things. Chelsea's in a tough group. AC Milan, Salzburg. That's going to be a tough group to get out of, but I think Chelsea does, and AC Milan finishes second. And then with the Premier League, I got 3 seconds left. Spurs is really good. I know Man City's the favorite. I know that you guys all like City. I got Spurs. And that has been your European Minute. Woo! Every time, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot to handle, honestly. We're going quick today. I'm already 8 minutes in. Going quick, right? I'm trying to be a little bit more fast this year, okay? Maybe in the future I'll do European 2-minute drill. That'd be kind of funny. There's a bit idea that I just came up with off the top of my head. All right, week 0 for college football happened this week. I'm obviously a Husker alum. I've got the Memorial Stadium right behind me. I sat there. I already have tickets to the Michigan-Nebraska game. I will be there in November. And, yeah. You know, it just sucks. You know, that's the thing that you guys don't understand. You guys all get to have the Lions lose on Sundays, but at least you get like Michigan and Michigan State to win a couple games, right? And you get Michigan to go to the Final Four. Or you get Michigan State to be like an 8-win team. No, my Saturday goes from the Huskers to the freaking Lions, man. We're not even to Labor Day, and I'm already like quitting on football, and I'm trying to figure out how the Pistons are going to be good. And I'm waiting for October 14th when hockey comes back. Like, this is not fair, man. It's just not fair. And guess what? I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. I know where I'm going to be September 17th with my Huskers. They're going to be playing Oklahoma, and guess what I'm going to be telling myself? They're going to beat Oklahoma. They'll be 2-1, and they're going to lose to Oklahoma close, and I'll be like, guess what? We're running to the freaking table. I'm just so dumb. It's me. It's a me thing. I'm dumb. sucked. And then, and then, I'm hoping like hell. I'm the only one awake in the world. I need Hawaii plus 9.5. They're at home. They got Chang as their old quarterback is in as their head coach. It's their first game. It's their first game in front of fans. They got the old school Hawaii vibes to them. We're on the main island. We're playing Vandy, who's the worst team in Power 5 football. How do you lose? How do you lose by more than 9.5 points? That's not even possible. It's not even possible to lose to Vandy by more than 2 touchdowns. So I'm at least going to be in it at the end of the game. They not only lose, guys. They lose by 53 points. 53 points. How is that possible? How does Vanderbilt score 63 points? How's that possible? I didn't know Vandy had it in them. I had no idea that they could score 63 points. It was unbelievable. I watched as much as Hawaii lost by so much that I'm watching the Little League World Series today, and Hawaii won the Little League World Series by a run rule, and I'm sitting there rooting for Curacao. I mean, golly, they didn't even show up. They can't Hawaii goes to Michigan in a couple weeks. I don't care how many points Michigan's favored by. Give the points. Just give 100 points to Hawaii. Hawaii can't tackle. And they can't play offense. It was crazy. It's crazy. I got a call from my dad and he was like, that was hilarious content. I'm like, I'm glad you thought so. Golly, man. Hawaii, baby. I'm bad start. I'm 1-2 this year. Illinois covered. Nebraska obviously didn't cover. And Hawaii got blown out. I lost. I mean, to lose a bet by 40 points is unexcusable. It's just, I know what I'm going to do a couple weeks from now. I know I'm going to be out of money, and I know Hawaii's going to be playing like UNLV, and I know I'm going to be like, let's bet the over. I know. That's what I'm going to say in my stupid little brain. Fun fact about Vandy, last time they scored 63 points in a football game. 63 points, Vanderbilt football. Vanderbilt, I always say it wrong. Mac Brown was a freshman running back. And you'd be like, who's Mac Brown? What's Mac Brown? The old Texas head coach, the now North Carolina head coach, old man Mac Brown was a freshman at Vandy. You know how long ago that was? I'm sure Dwight Eisenhower was the president. No, I said I was going to be positive. I said I was going to be positive, and I just got done with 2 minutes of being negative. Week 0, and I'm already, like, out of money and out of hope. How is that possible? Football season. I was so excited for football season this year. Whatever. All right, I'm going to move on. Next week's going to be different. It's Labor Day weekend. You know, we get Monday off. Be completely different. All right, fantasy draft season is upon us. This is my final thought. Fantasy draft season is upon us. And I think Matthew Berry said it best. I'm a big fantasy football guy. I'm a big fantasy football believer. Don't use ESPN and Yahoo like it's the Bible. Use your brain. Trust your gut, all right? Trust your gut. You know what's best for your team, all right? Don't listen to them. Listen to this. That's my only fantasy advice, all right? If you need fantasy help, slide in my DMs. I'm obviously not smart because I bet on Hawaii plus 9.5, and I'm a Huskers fan and a Lions fan, so I'm not very smart. But hey, at least I'll provide a second opinion for you if you would like. Trust your heart. Trust your heart this fantasy season. All right, real quick, Detroit Pierce podcast. We got a lot of football coming up. Very excited for it. God bless. Go Detroit Sports.